you, mate. I used to think I was hardcore until I met you, but fuck me, you take hardcore to another level, right? Hit me with something light, Jonathan. Give me something light.
Oh, well, I don't know whether this counts as light, but apparently I suspect that the NSA has been trying to hack into one of my email accounts.
You call that fucking light? Tell me more. Tell me more, please, pray tell.
I had an email from Yahoo, because I have all my email accounts linked, that telling me that on this past Sunday at just before 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, there was an unauthorized attempt to access my email account from an unregistered device somewhere in the United States. Now, it's an older email account that they attempted to hack into, but the interesting thing about that email account was I used that email account to order the train tickets to go down to Bilderberg. So it's quite possible that after 5 months since I went to Bilderberg, they managed to trace my email account through my train tickets.
I wish I had the music to play in the background. Right, Jonathan, I think we should end this call, mate. I think you're getting banned here, mate. You're too heavy for me. I asked you to give me something fucking light, and you give me this. You fucking tap because you went to Bilderberg. Did you even have to mention this? See, when you're in a hole, stop digging. In fact, just give me the spade, you're banned. Give me something extra light. We want independence light. We want independence from your crack pottery light. Give me something just middle of the road that wouldn't frighten a wee pensioner. Tell me.
I don't really do light, unfortunately.
You don't do light. I mean, tell me about Swansea. Are you still working with Swansea?
Yeah, I'm still working in Swansea. Working this Saturday in Cardiff as well. That'll be a long day.
You going to Cardiff?
And I've to work because an opportunity has come up there.
Will you need help?
Do that on Saturday.
Will you be okay? Do you need people to back you up? That sounds like a dodgy one. A Swansea boy going to Cardiff for work? Is the recession that hard up? Is it that bad?
I'll be okay, Tommy. I may be knackered after it, but I'll be all right. It's just... but I've got cinema tickets for Doctor Who in 2 weeks, so that should be fun. Don't know if you've seen the trailers for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who.
Right, let's go back to the Rothschilds again. What the fuck?
Is that not light enough for you?
It's fucking light. It's fucking... Oh, my head's buzzing, mate. Right, tell me, the Rothschilds, how can we stop these evil, corrupt bastards, Jonathan? Tell me. What do we do? How can we desist? How do we stop taking part in their filthy capitalist system? How can we desist?
I think the only thing I can think of at the moment is that we need to chronicle all of their activities, all of their associates, try to build up a web of contacts that the Rothschilds have. And we have to try and expose it through the medium of the internet, because the mainstream media aren't going to touch it one bit. They own the mainstream media, the Rothschilds.
They are the mainstream media, yeah. I mean, for an instance, Jonathan, You've been on 17 minutes and I've let you spout outrageous stuff. And for, you know, I don't want to interrupt at any times, just let you go on and go on and on. Tell me, is there any other station or any other place where you can do this? I mean, you, like me, are a veteran of phoning into the mainstream media. I mean, you're lucky. If you were to start spouting stuff about the Rothschild, do you reckon you would get about 10 seconds of clear airtime before the presenter jumped in and tried to stop you and change you over to something else?
I definitely wouldn't get more than 10 seconds. Someone once suggested on LBC, on Nick Abbott's show, that to protest against the Rothschilds, perhaps we should storm a synagogue and denounce the Rothschilds in a synagogue. Oof. And then he was quickly cut off.
Yes, and one time I called Nicky Campbell part of the Rothschild banking cabal, and I was persona non grata for a while. Except when I go back on now, he does recognise me. I just go, Nicholas, how you doing, Nicholas? Because obviously his real father was a pure Fenian rebel who fought in 1916. But he tries to he tries to hide it. Well, he can't hide it anymore anyway. But he was adopted by some Presbyterian Scot out in Edinburgh. But his real family was hardcore Republican. So the old Nicholas. Right, so we're done the Rothschilds. So up to date, Jonathan, the shit that's going on in Syria, the Americans, they took a heavy pasting, didn't they? How do you see it going down now?
In Syria, it's going to be stalemate. No one is strong enough to win that civil war. No one is. I mean, only direct military action from the West can tip the balance against Assad. I feel it's going to settle down to stalemate for the next 10 years or so before there's a convenient false flag attack or manufactured episode, and that'll be used by the Americans to invade Syria because, as Iraq and Libya have shown, 10 years after the governments of those countries suspend their chemical weapons programs, they're attacked by the West. So I think we're looking at 10 years of stalemate followed by a Western invasion in 2023.
Interesting stuff, Jonathan. Right, and tell me, do you still think Celtic will meet Swansea in the last 32 of the Europa League?
I believe so. The Ajax result was...
You're banned. How dare you? Come on,
the Ajax result was disappointing, and the treatment of the Celtic fans by the Dutch police heavy-handed and unnecessary.
There you go.
I mean, Scottish football fans are very well behaved, particularly Celtic fans.
Don't be saying Scottish, Celtic. Because they manky mob, they sick degenerates from the other side of Glasgow. They bring the standard down. But never mind.
I mean, what were the Dutch thinking? I mean, how could the Dutch mistake Celtic fans for English hooligans?
Not just that, mate. You would think, man, these liberal society with all these coppers there, a few of them would have indulged in a peace pipe before they started their shift, but not at all. They were out for blood.
I actually, it's just occurred to me why the Dutch police attacked the Celtic fans. It's just occurred to me.
Go ahead.
Because guess who came from Holland?
Prince William of Orange.
Yes. I mean, 300 years on.
You're wired to the moon.
Yeah.
How dare you? You could be right. That could be the Gras conspiracy. It was a conspiracy by William of Orange. And he did it because...
Guess who set up the Bank of England?
William of Orange.
Guess who's the... Yeah, 1694. Bank of England Act.
Because the Dutch banking system was far more sophisticated, and obviously the king of this country wanted to get a hold of the wealthy merchants' money, so he sold out to the wealthy merchants, and within 100 years, old Amschelmeer Bauer, or Bayer, or whatever he was, became known as old Rothschild. He took over the whole shooting match with his 5 sons in key positions in Vienna, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, London, Paris. Was able to take control of all the countries by putting the kings in debt. That's how they did it.
It's even possible that Oliver Cromwell himself was a Rothschild agent, because he allowed on the face of it, he allowed the Jews back.
It was before his time, mate. It was a heavy banker. It was a heavy banker. I'll give him that, but I think he preceded the Rothschilds. But they all come from the same background, mate. They're all dumb schmucks.
Yeah, because I bring up Oliver Cromwell because apparently a delegation of Jews came to Cromwell and asked to be readmitted back into England. Cromwell was sympathetic to them and allowed them in. And it's quite possible that among those innocent Jewish settlers were some Rothschild agents. It's the typical Rothschild MO. Use the Jewish people as a Trojan horse for their Luciferian agenda. And that way then, if the Rothschilds do something that people don't like, it's the Jewish people that are made the scapegoats by the likes of the Nazis and
there was a
Stalinist regime.
There was a wonderful YouTube I saw there by Mohab Deep, who did the 7/7 ripple effect, and he points out that from the house of Shem they did not come, so they're not of a Semitic people. So I mean, they're not and they don't trace their line to the proper Jews, who the tribes of Ethiopia. They can trace their heritage away back thousands of years. That these modern day people who say they're Jews or come from the tribe of Judea are just imposters, basically, for want of a better word, because they're not of the tribe that was kicking about a few thousand years ago, that are from the Semitic background, like the Arabs who've got the Semitic, and these are, I think they're classed as Khazarites, whatever, but they're
to be fair, there is a lot. To be fair, there is a lot of contradictory genetic evidence. One lot of genetic evidence says that they are genetically Jewish. There's another lot of genetic evidence that says they're not. It's really shrouded in obscurity and misinformation, and you have to remember that after the Babylonian captivity, 10 of the 12 tribes disappeared from the face of the earth. So it's really hard to tell who's a genetic Jew and who isn't. But that isn't really the point. I don't care whether you're a Jew or a Gentile. That's not what matters. It's what kind of character you are as an individual.
But
unfortunately,
sadly for them, it does matter, because if you're of the goyim, of the filthy cattle, then you're not of the chosen people. Then, I mean, you can't get any more racist than that. They call the people who are not part of them the goyim, the filthy cattle, and they're orthodox. Don't even eat from the plate, refuse to eat from the plate of anyone who's of the goyim, the filthy cattle. C'est la vie.
Yeah, I